Hey, welcome back to another episode of Dragon Speed Shop. Today's video, kind of need your help on some things. Kind of running into a slump or whatever you want to call it, but head scratcher, I guess. But before we get into that, got to spend a little bit of time this weekend with Jan at Northview Model Shop. If you guys are not a part of their group on Facebook, I highly recommend that you get over there and ask to join the group. What a great and awesome group of people. I've learned so much from that group in this short amount of time that I've been in there. Also, don't forget to check out his Sunday Night Gossip that talks about upcoming shows and gives some spotlights. Really good show to take a look at. Just make sure you get over there and give them some support. Also, he's got an Instagram. Make sure if you got that to join them, and also make sure that you keep a close eye on my Instagram. I'm gonna start posting this week every time that I actually work on this or any of my projects. I'm gonna post pictures up that will kind of give you an inside scoop of what's going on with the build, kind of more step by step. This is all going to be before it actually hits YouTube. So if you want to I guess you could say, know how or whatever what's going on with this Jeep at any point in time, make sure you get over there and check that out. But so I guess we'll get started into what I'm having issues with. I can't decide how to finish off this front end. I've got an I-beam suspension, and I've cut out the leaf springs, and I'm using these suspension arms, control arms, I guess you'd call them, off the 29 Ford from Revell. Within cutting the leaf springs, there's now nothing to hold this suspension from going side to side, anything like that. I could do a pan hard bar, I believe, possibly even maybe a 3-link off the bottom of the axle to a point on the frame. I haven't quite decided. I'd like to get your guys' input on maybe you got something different that could help me out in this build. Kind of show you what's going on here as everything falls apart. I'll pop these tires off. So the rear axle is going to sit about here. So I could do a 3-link, or I could put in a pan hard bar. Let me know what you guys think might actually look kind of good. I want to keep kind of in the same look of a kind of pro touring style rear suspension that I've done. We'll take kind of a closer look at that. This runs off of like a 3-link, basically one big link in the middle. I've got 2 lower links. I don't know how well, they're kind of small, that I've made up for those links that run from about here to the side of the frame. They're really hard to keep on there, but for mock-up purposes and everything else, I've got it pretty well lined up. I've had to widen the axle. That's what you can see, these little metal spacers, but once still going to run drum brake, and then once the tire gets on, I've got just enough clearance on from the tire to the body that I'm really happy with that. The second little problem that I'm having is I don't have a lot of room in this compartment to run a gas tank, air compressor, and the air compressor tank and a fuel tank, all that's in here. This is the tank I want to use. I used it on my 1950 Ford truck. This is actually the air tank off a semi kit that I did. I'd like to keep it pretty much centered. Put that in wrong. centered in the back of this Jeep here. But now I'm running into, I think I could run a air compressor, rather this side or that side. But I've got a sway bar that runs off of this mount and this mount that runs up to the axle. I don't know what I'm going to do for a gas tank. If you guys got some suggestions maybe that would help me out. On the original kit of this, it runs under the driver's seat. There's the original for this kit, and I don't know, because I'd like to lower the seats onto the floor, so I don't really want to put that. There is, I kind of thought about making a gas tank and sticking it bottom part of the floor. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Underneath the axle, there is a little tiny bit of room there. The thickness that this is will, let's see if I can just get this in here. There is room to put a gas tank in there, but I'm not quite sure 100% if that's what I want to do. If you guys got some other suggestions on doing a gas tank or air tank, and also if you know anybody that does a really good scale version of the air compressor for the tank, let me know in the comments or send me a message, have them get a hold of me, whatever way works for you. That would help me out tremendously. But otherwise, the only things I've really done, I've gotten all the floors sanded. I've still got to do body work and everything like that. I figured out what I've done for the tunnel. The way I bent that tunnel to get that curve is I took a socket and wrapped a piece of styrene around it and then just kind of clamped it. Make sure it's a little bit longer this way so you can put a couple of clamps, and then I've got a little space heater that underneath my desk, and I just kind of hung it right in front of that for a little while, 5-10 minutes on low heat, till it was really kind of warm to the touch, and then just kind of let it self cool. And once I unlatched from all the clamps and stuff, it had a really nice arch, so I just ended up stuffing that in there, and it I think it worked out slick. I've got a little bit of work. Let's see if you can see that. I've got 2 little holes that I've got to fill in that I kind of misjudged when I made that panel, but no big deal there. But yeah, guys, if you got any suggestions on what I could do on that front suspension, the oil pan for this is really kind of low profile, so that makes it a lot easier for things. But yeah, if you got any suggestions that could help me out, feel free to throw them in the comment, or message me. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can, but I would really appreciate it. This has been a head scratcher for the last 2 or 3 days, but yeah, so make sure you guys get over there to Instagram. You'll get some more inside pictures and stuff of what's actually going on with this. So until next time, this is Dragon Speed Shop, and I'm out.